Okay. Do see it's picking up some noise here. Hold on. That should help. And hopefully I'm not too loud. Welcome, adventurers. Today we're going to be playing the prologue of Primal the Awakening. I almost just blanked on the name. It has been quite the adventure to get this up and running today, so pardon me if I seem a little slow on some of these parts here. So yeah, I think we have a pretty good feel for the game now, and that was kind of one of the main things that I wanted to focus on, is when I did get around to streaming this correctly, I wanted to make sure that I had the rules locked down, so I didn't mess too many things up. You know, I still think there's a chance that I may mess up a rule here or there, but I wanted to make sure that we had a pretty good grasp of the game, especially playing solo two-handed. There is quite a bit going on, so it's very easy to miss or forget to do something at the end of the round or activate a behavior at the right time. So I think we are pretty good in terms of the rules. I think we have a good grasp of it. So I'm going to do my best to kind of explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and what is happening, why it's happening, and different things. So it's kind of going to be a little bit of a learn and teach, and I guess more of a teach and play, I think is a better way to put it. So yeah. Today we're going to be going against the Prologue boss, Varaxin, and we're going to be using the two characters, Kara, which is one of the additional characters that was added in one of the expansions, and Darian, who is a great sword user, and he is part of the base game. So we have a little bit of the base game, a little bit of an expansion here, and all of the hunters have their own special mechanics, which I think is really, really cool and keeps the game fresh and new, even if you go into the same fight and maybe play as a different character. So Kara's specials, and we'll kind of just shift over here so you can see a little bit. She's going to start with level 1 dual blades, and whenever I trigger Blade Dance, I'm going to deal 1 damage. And the way Blade Dance works is when we are looking at this little chart down here on her board, which is unique to her, whenever I play 2 damage attacks in a row, I actually don't know if it has to be in a row now that I say that. So that is one rule clarification that I want to make sure of. But yeah, when we play so many damage attacks, it'll trigger additional damage. So she is very, very potent when it comes to dealing out damage. You can go as far as to laying 6 damage cards and doing an additional 5 and 7, and these stack. So this is not incremental. In the sense that it'll just go like, oh, you're doing 3, and then now, oh no, now you're going to do 5. Oh, now you're going to do 7. It is, you do 3 plus 5 plus 7. So it just keeps stacking on top of each other, on top of the damage you're already doing with your red cards. And every single time you trigger Blade Dance, you're also getting that additional damage. So an additional 3 just from your weapon alone. So she has the potential to do crazy amounts of damage. And the only character that I've seen kind of come close to that is the Archer character. Amber played her when we did our little like test run the first time when we were learning the game, and that character did crazy amounts of damage and went through her deck very, very fast, and was very, very different than the Hammer character I was playing, who seemed to be more status oriented with stuns and confuses and different things like that. So let me double check on when it comes to her track here. Yeah, so the more consecutive damage cards you play, the more damage you inflict to the monster. So consecutive, so they have to be back to back. Okay. So that is very, very specific. And I guess that's a little bit harder to pull off. You'll also notice that for her, it says that if I play 6 attack cards in a row, I can do that extra final battle dance proc there. But that is actually unique to this character because typically you can only lay 5 cards in a turn. But because she has a few cards in her deck that allow her to add an additional card to her sequence that allows you to get to that 6. So I've never seen that happen so far in the little bit that I've tried of this character. But if we do manage to pull that off, that would be an insane amount of damage for sure. And then for our other character, Darian, he is a great sword user. He's also about dealing good amounts of damage, but he has a lot of like counters. So he has cards in his hand that one of them is resilience. Like you'll have a keyword called resilience. And whenever you have that card in your hand and you take damage, you can show that you have that card in your hand and it allows you to draw. So he's a little bit of a, like he gets hit and he gets to react off of getting hit. And he also has a couple other really cool, interesting different player keywords here. So Berserker, whenever he plays an attack card after using a Berserker card, he gets to draw another card. So he has a lot of things that kind of just like feed off of each other and just keep going and keep building momentum. Slash is also going to be an inherent trait that shows up on some of the cards, and that's going to be relevant when you have other cards that say, hey, look in your deck for a slash card, and you're going to find one of those to pull and put into your hand. We haven't seen Finisher yet. And Finisher says after you play a card with the keyword Finisher in your sequence, your action phase ends. You cannot take any more action. So that's interesting. So it literally is a finisher to your sequence for that turn. And I'm guessing those cards are going to be very powerful. Otherwise, that just seems like he's a little bit, has a little bit of a disadvantage. So I'm going to guess the finisher skills are going to be really, really powerful and potent to kind of make you feel like that finishing hit is worth it. Okay. So this is kind of a overshot of our board here. We're going to be starting in round 1. We do have 3 pieces of terrain that are going to start on the map right off the gate. This is a brush. This one's going to allow you at the start of your turn, if you're in this sector, you can use your movement to go into the brush, and that's going to pause your turn and then allow the other person who hasn't gone during that round yet to act and then come back to you. This could be very useful for a lot of different reasons. It may prevent, maybe you're trying to avoid some behavior cards. Maybe you're in a scenario where, you don't have the cards you need to move and act, and you want to wait till someone else gets aggro and turns the boss a certain way. There's a lot of different things that can benefit off of that in very niche scenarios. This plant over here, this one is going to allow you to do bonus damage if you attack from that space. And it's going to do damage based on your weapon level. So our weapons are level 1, so in those cases it's just going to add 1 more damage to our attacks. And then the final plant we have here is a heal plant. So if you start your turn in this area, you get to heal based on, I want to say it's weapon level as well. I will double check that, but I believe you're probably going to heal for 1. It's not going to be anything super crazy, but it's a passive heal, so it can be something to help you if you start to get really low. The other things that we have here on the board is we're going to be starting in stance 1. So stance 1 for this boss, if you look at the different sectors that are highlighted in red here, it's actually going to show you where you're going to be able to attack him from. So these 3 little arrows that are pointing down are indicating the front of the boss. So as this boss rotates and faces different sectors, these red locations where he's vulnerable are going to change based on where he's facing. So right now it's going to be in front of him, and behind him are going to be the spots where he is most vulnerable. He's also going to have a toughness of 2, and then this little icon there indicates that it's going to be 2 per player. So in this case, he's going to have 4 toughness, which means we have to do 4 damage to him in order for us to wound him. And that's going to matter, as we see here, we have to do 10 wounds to defeat this boss. So every time we complete a wound, this will shift down 1. But what's going to happen is if we do enough wounds to get him down to 7 on the wound track, he's going to change stances and go to stance 2. and that's going to create an environment where we have different vulnerability spots. He's going to be a little bit tougher and harder to kill, and sometimes his damage will go up. In this case, it does not. But he has 3 stances, so as he's going to continue to get lower in health, he's going to get tougher to fight, and he's going to be harder to kill. He's going to have higher toughness, possibly do more damage, and his vulnerable spots are going to continue to change. These are going to be our peril cards. As you can see at the very top here, there's a 1. That's also going to change whenever his stance does. So there's going to be other peril cards, like this has a 2 and that has a 3. So anytime his stance changes, these will change as well. And these just have ongoing effects that are going to affect us in different ways. So this one says at the end of the round, if the aggro player is threatened, place a fire terrain in the front sector. So that's just going to cause more fire to spread on the board. And yeah, so since we mentioned threatened on that card, we can kind of reference that here. These tokens here are threatened markers, and these are going to be relevant whenever your turn starts and you choose to not move, or if a card says you gain threatened for any reason. So if you do not move at the beginning of your turn, you will get a threatened token, which will affect different things like peril cards, behavior cards, and it's also going to affect the attrition phase of the turn. So attrition, we'll kind of get to that as we play, but pretty much what's going to happen is we're going to flip this card over, and dependent on the number that is on the card, we have to see if we have that many or more defensive cards in our sequence that we played that turn in order to dodge or parry the boss's attack. So this attrition deck is pretty much saying the boss is attacking you this many times. So 1, 2, 3, and you have to have block and parry, or dodge and parry cards down in order to parry and dodge his attacks. Otherwise you get hit. So we will see that more as we play. The other thing we can show here is we have, you know, level 1 armor and level 1 weapon, since this is the first fight of the game. Those are going to be determining our health values. So the helmet has 4 and the chest piece has 5. That's going to be the same for both of our characters. And if we ever take 9 damage or more, we're going to be KO'd. So we want to try to avoid that as much as possible, of course, but that is kind of the thing that is tracking our health. Our total health is based on our armor. So the better armor we get throughout the campaign, the more health we will get as well. This is going to show you the potion. So each of our characters start with a basic potion. This is just the healing potion. It heals for 2, but if the current attrition level is 1 or lower, it will heal you for 4. So as we're flipping cards out of that attrition deck that we were showing earlier, if that number is 1 or lower and we decide to use our potion at the beginning of a round, we will heal for 4 instead of 2. So consuming potions only happens at the beginning of a brand new round. So we will not be able to just use that whenever we want to. So we have to kind of think of that whenever a new round starts. Even if we may not get the most out of a heal, it might be worth doing it to avoid getting KO'd. So this card here is a little cheat sheet where it gives us our round structure. Kind of lists out the different things we're going to be doing during a round, and we'll explain those as we go as well. The last thing that our character has here is the mastery cards. Mastery cards are unique per character. There are more than one of these in the game, so I'm not sure what unlocks the other ones. I'm sure as you fight different bosses and the campaign progresses, you'll see those come out. But what we're going to be doing here is we kind of have a side bonus objective for each of our characters that's going to empower us if we complete it. So this one says, it's called Piercing Dash. When you overrun a monster, place a counter on this card. And then the number at the very top here, number 2, indicates how many times we have to do this before this card flips over and we unlock our mastery. The mastery will have a permanent effect on your character for the rest of the fight. And then you're also going to unlock this symbol, which is going to appear on some of your cards, and that's going to trigger additional effects on those cards, so making some cards that may already be pretty good even more powerful. So it is usually, you know, worth going for this if possible, as quickly as possible, because it is going to be something that affects you for the rest of the combat. And it's always positive, it's always beneficial to your character. So for that one, we have to overrun a monster twice, and that's going to be one of our unique trait names that we're going to see on our cards. And then for Darien, his is Relentless Assault, and you have to play 2 red cards in a row. Then you get to place the counter, and once again, we have to do that twice in order to activate our mastery and flip that over. So this one, last time I played, ended up being pretty difficult just because what we were drawing, typically we were just not getting 2 red cards in a hand. Very unfortunate, so I'm hoping to have better luck this time while using that character. Yeah. So we do have these little cheat sheets as well, and I may reference these once in a while as we play. They're going to have keywords unique to that character, as well as some of the abilities on your cards. It's going to explain how those work to give you a better idea of what's going on. So with that being said, I think we're just going to go ahead and start the first round, and as we come across different rules that may need explaining, I'll do my best to explain those things. The first thing we're going to do in the first round is consume, but no one is hurt, so we're not going to go ahead and use any of our potions. And then the second one is going to be monster upkeep. So the behavior refresh, we actually do not do that in the first round. You skip that for round 1. But all that really is going to have you do is look at these cards, and then you're going to find the card that has the lowest number on the bottom left corner. Whatever that number card, or whatever that card is, it's going to get discarded and it's going to get replaced with a new behavior card. If you have multiple cards with the same lowest number, so we had multiple cards that had the number 2, then all of the cards get discarded that match that number, and they both get replaced, or maybe all 3 of them get replaced in that kind of scenario where all 3 of them are 2. So yeah, these behavior cards are going to completely control how the boss is going to interact with us. The boss doesn't have its own turn in this game, but instead it's going to be reacting to various different things. And the icons on the cards are actually going to show you when those activations are going to occur. So sometimes we can kind of work around those to try to maybe avoid having the monster do more actions. But sometimes you start in a sector because the boss turn facing another player, and it's going to automatically trigger behavior. So some of those examples that we have out here right now is this one has the red attack icon on it. If we play any red attack cards while this is out, this will immediately trigger after we do the card's effects, and we read it and we see what happens. This one has a picture of a tail. That one means if you start your turn behind the boss, that will trigger. And then this one has a mouth. And that one means if you start your turn in front of the boss, this will trigger. So this is actually going to trigger very early on. So we skip the behavior refresh, but then we do the struggle. So he's going to gain 1 struggle per player. And since we have 2 characters, we're going to give him 2 struggle. These struggle tokens are going to affect a few different things. Some of the behavior cards will have additional perks on the bottom, and they will trigger if the boss has enough struggle in order to activate them, which usually just makes that card even worse. And another effect of struggle is whenever you end up getting 3 struggle per player, so in this case it would be 6, if he ever ends up getting 6 struggle, he's automatically going to, I believe it's called Unleash, where he's going to attack everybody for his damage in that current stance. So he will do 1 damage to both of us currently if that were to happen. When we run out of behavior cards in the behavior deck and we have to refresh this, that's going to cause him, I forget the terminology, but it's going to cause him to gain a struggle in this instance. In later bosses, they will actually have specific effects that happen when you run out of this deck. But for the starting prologue boss, he just adds an additional struggle, which is just going to continue to ramp up his behavior effects, as well as the potential for him to unleash on us and do extra damage. Let's see. So yeah, we will go ahead. We added the struggle, and then we're going to go to the player turns. Now, every player gets to go before we do the end of round actions. But the only thing that we have to look out for in the very beginning here is this targeting token. This is going to determine who the boss is currently aggroed to. So this is the aggro token. And the person that decides to take the aggro token, if you're playing with multiple players, is going to be the first character to go in the round. And once that rotation starts, I don't believe the turn order ever changes. And I'm actually not 100% sure on that, but I don't believe that's the case. And you'll just continue to kind of go in order clockwise. So we're going to do Darian's turn first. And the thing that makes playing this solo a little difficult when you're playing with two hands is just the fact that there are some cards that have perks that affect your teammate when they're playing on their turn or benefit them. So I kind of have to look at cards on both sides in order to ensure I don't miss anything. Let's see. So actually, we can just do that for now. So in this scenario, let's see. We have Pressing Strike, Guardian Blade. So here's some cards, and we can show some good examples here. This card has the word Assist and Berserker. So Assist is a special action that every character has in their deck. This is a card that I can play on somebody else's turn, and it will allow them to draw an additional card during their turn. So it's helpful if that, your teammate needs one more card to pull off like a really powerful combo, or maybe their hand is just not super great and they need another card to hope that they get something that will be beneficial for them. So this is one of those cards where it's like, I could play it now, but it also could be very helpful if I save it for another player's turn. The top left is going to show us the cost of stamina that is needed in order to play this card. And in the bottom left, this little water droplet is going to show us the value of discarding this card. So if we choose to discard this card and not play it, we will gain a stamina this turn. And then we can use that stamina to play other cards. So this card costs 1. We could discard this one, play that one. This card costs 2. So we would either have to discard 2 1 water token cards, 1 level 2, or some of the cards will even be worth 3, maybe more. So you could discard a 3 and spend that 2 to play the 2 card, but you're going to lose out on that excess stamina. So you do not get to carry it over into another card in that turn. Whatever you discard, if it is like 2 or more on a card, that amount, if it's used to play another one, it's completely used up. Okay. So Thwart here says, when another player removes Struggle, you may discard this card from your hand to double the amount of Struggle removed. Then the active player draws a card. That is also another great support card there. This one reduces the stamina cost of the next card you play by 1. So that would make one of our 1 stamina cost cards free, which is exciting. And then this one lets us draw. Now the last icon, or actually there's a couple icons here we can show to kind of explain this a bit. So the icons on the top of the card, right in the middle here, are going to determine, 1, the color is going to be important for several actions, but 2, the symbol is also going to be important. So this symbol right here is going to be the defensive card, yellow is going to be parrying, and green is going to be dodging. If I have these cards laid out in my sequence, these are the cards that are going to help me when I flip the attrition card and see what that number is. The other symbol here on the blue cards, and also red cards whenever we get those, these are attack cards. So the blue one, when we play them, automatically allows us to remove a struggle from the boss, which is very helpful. And then the red ones allow us to immediately do damage with our weapons damage here, which is going to be 2 for our level 1 weapons to start. And additionally, whatever else is on that card. So some attack cards allow you to do your weapon damage on top of other things that just stack the damage even further. Okay, and then the last thing to look at here is the top right of these cards. You'll see this one's gray, has like horns that are gray, and this one's red. If I play this card, it does not gain aggro. I do not gain aggro. But if I play this card, it's going to pull aggro if another player has it. In this case, Darian already has aggro, so playing aggro cards are not going to negatively impact me in any way. But if the other person had aggro when my turn started, and I played one of these, it's going to pull that aggro to me, which is going to make the boss focus his attention on me, which could have all sorts of different consequences if we let that happen. Okay. I kind of want to do the Berserk card. If we play that, it's going to let us draw for every consecutive attack card, I believe. While in Berserker state, draw 1 each time you play an attack card in your sequence. Okay. So we do have 2 other attack cards. Now, cost is going to be the big thing that we have to pay attention to see if we can pay for everything. I see. And, yeah, let me know if you're... I'm not sure if that's you that's in there, babe. I haven't seen the chat move at all, so I don't know if it's working. But hello if it is you, and hello if it's not, to whoever that is. And let me know if you have any questions regarding any of the things that I'm doing throughout the game, or if you're just new to it and trying to figure it out for the first time. Okay. So I think we're going to go ahead and... Oh, I apologize. So here's a good instance of that. It's always important to check the behavior. So we see here that the mouth behavior is going to trigger because I am in front of him. So this card says Varaxian gains 1 struggle per player. And so we're going to flip one of these 1 tokens to a 3. And he's going to get +1 damage until the end of this round. So he currently does 1 damage, but now he is going to do 2 damage if anything triggers that damage to go off. So that'll go... we'll just put that over here for now. Everything is working well. Cool. Thanks, babe. And then we're going to immediately replace that behavior card with a new one. So we can see if it's something... Oh, okay. We can see if it's something that we have to look out for during this turn. So that is a end of turn icon. So at the... Or I'm sorry, end of round. So when this round ends, if this behavior card is still out, it will trigger. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, we're going to start with aggressive charge. Trying to think of a good place for me to show the sequence here. Let me put that over there. We'll just kind of lay them out here for now. And let's see. Okay, and that costs 0, so we didn't have to discard anything in order to do that. Oh, and we had to decide if we were going to move at the beginning of our turn. Since I did not move, which costs 1 stamina to do so, I am going to get the threaten token. Okay. Okay, so we have Berserker right now. So if I do play another attack card, that will not trigger Relentless because it's not 2 reds and it does not trigger our weapon. But it will trigger the draw. Let's see. So I think we're going to go ahead and discard the Guardian Blade. And that's going to give us 2 stamina to spend. We could lay down Pressing Strikes. And then laying that would not... This would be helpful for attrition. Just getting that green defensive card out. And I don't know if we necessarily need the draw too. So maybe what we do here... Let's reset that a little bit. That's also worth 2. Yeah, I think we're going to do this just so we can get... Oh, and because I laid a blue card... See, there's a lot of little things to track here. Because I laid a blue card, he's actually going to lose a struggle. So that's good for us. He is down to 3 now. And then, I think I'm going to go ahead and discard Thwart for 2. So I can play Swift Dodge, which reduces the stamina cost of my next card by 1. At the end of your action phase, for each red in your sequence. Ooh, so that would be 2. That would be very helpful, actually. Okay. So this would be free to play. This would cost 1. I do like helping my other character get a better turn because I don't think I'm going to do much here even if I draw 2 more. So that being said, I'm just going to lay this card for free because this reduced that cost by 1. And there's no... I did not play a red card, so we're good on the behaviors. And these don't trigger anything immediate outside of just the effects on them. So this card says, at the end of your action phase, choose another player to draw 1 for each red horn in your sequence. And we have 2 here. So that's going to allow our other character to draw 2 additional cards in their starting hand, which could be very, very helpful. Okay. And I think that's pretty much all we have here. And we're going to discard in order of which we played. So left card is going to get discarded first. Second one, and then the third one. We did not get any counters, any procs. So I believe that's going to be it. And then the next part of our turn is going to be... yeah, it's going to be the attrition. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do the attrition first. So I should have left that out so we can see those cards. But we played these 3 cards. So we had 2 defensive cards, as we can see here, with the green and the yellow. So that's going to matter with this attrition. So because I have threatened, I have to draw 2 attrition cards and pick the worst of the 2. That is the disadvantage of deciding not to move on my turn. So the first one is a 1. Come on. And the second one's a 1. So we are good. We do not take any damage, which is great. And then at the end of the round, if the aggro player... Oh, that's at the end of the round. Okay, so we don't do that yet. But we are going to be getting some fire, it sounds like. All right. So after we do that, we're going to draw back up to 5. We had 1 card left, so we're going to draw 4. And the nice thing is if you ever end up having a not so great hand and you end your turn with 2 cards, you actually get a stamina token, which can be used in a future turn in order to pay for the cost. And that's really nice just to get a more powerful hand in the future. You can only hold 1 of these tokens at a time though. So if your next turn is also not super great and you have 2 cards left over, you do not get an additional unless you spent it, and then you could acquire another one to replace the one you had. But you can only ever have 1 of those at a time. Okay, so that's going to be his hand. And then we're going to move over to the other player. So because of the card we played, we do get to draw 2 additional cards. We're going to go ahead and check the behavior here. We do not have anything that triggers for us being in front of him. So we are good there. And we do not do... Yeah, we're just going straight into player. So now I have to decide if I want to move. And if I don't, I'm going to get a threatened token as well on this character. So let's see here. We got 2 red cards. Good amount of blue cards as well. Ooh, that's a fun one. So these cards, this is a unique effect to this character. Let's see. So this card has the effect of Reclaim, and it has 2 red attack cards. So when this card is in my discard pile, and I play 2 red attack cards back to back, I get to reclaim this card back into my hand. So it says you may immediately move, and then when I do that, I get to immediately move without paying any stamina cost. So this is a way to, I guess, move outside of the move phase, as well as get this card back into my hand, which is cool because I can discard it to use for stamina, and then if I play 2 red cards, I can end up getting it back. So that's a really cool system that this character has. This one says, when you discard this card from your hand to generate stamina for a movement, you may overrun the monster instead of moving. If you do, remove 1 struggle. That is very, very interesting. So the way overrun works on this character is whenever I proc an overrun, I get to go through the boss. So typically your movement is only 1 sector to your left or to your right, but when you overrun, you get to go through the boss onto the opposite side of him. And in this scenario, that actually works out because that is going to ensure we don't get threatened. It's going to keep us in a zone where he's still vulnerable. and we'll be in a healing area. And then that'll also allow us to remove a struggle. So let's make sure that our other character doesn't have something that benefits from the other player removing a struggle. Ooh, we did get a resilience card. That could be important. And he does have an assist card, so if I did want another draw on this character, I could do that. Alright. Alright, let's see. This card says when your cards gain stealth until the end of the turn, and I can explain that in a little bit. When you overrun the monster, you may discard this card from your hand to draw 2. Oh my gosh. These cards are... This character is so much fun. This character also has the effect of chaining. So if you ever see chain and then a color with an icon, that indicates that if you played that type of card, so another red attack card, I can chain this card off of it for free and I don't have to pay the stamina cost, which is insane. Yeah, this character is so fun. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we are going to do crossover, which is going to let us discard this card from our hand to generate, or when you do that, to generate a stamina. You may overrun the monster instead of moving. If you do, remove 1 struggle. Okay, so we are going to remove a struggle. So he's down to 2. We're going to overrun. And on top of all of that, because we overrun the monster, that is our mastery objective. It says when you overrun the monster, place a counter on this card. We have 1 counter towards our 2. So we are 1 step closer to proccing that. And that was a discard in order to move. Let's see. And then this card says whenever you overrun the monster, you may discard this card from your hand to draw 2. So we are going to do that. So we get 2 more cards. Wow, this is such a crazy starting hand already. Let's see if we have any 0-cost cards. It does not appear that we do. So we want to get a blue card down first. Ooh, yes. I see some crazy synergy here. So I think we're going to go ahead and discard our Shadow Step. See if we have anything that costs 2 before we do that. Yeah, nothing costs 2, so we're not really ever going to benefit from this 2 stamina trade-off that we're going to get from discarding this. So we're going to discard that because if we are able to manage to play 2 reds in a row, we are going to be able to reclaim that card. So this is going to be pretty crazy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play Half Moon. And Half Moon has this little down arrow next to a red attack card icon. And the down arrow is indicating this card being played. So this says that if you play this card and then a red card after it, deal your weapon damage and draw a card. On top of us already getting rid of a struggle because it's blue. So we are going to play Half Moon first. And we don't do that effect quite yet. And we did not start our turn at the tail, so we do not trigger that behavior. Just in case anyone was unsure about that part. And then we're going to play Scythe, which is a chain off of a blue. And that one allows us to remove an additional struggle. So now he has nothing. And because we now have met this criteria, we get to deal weapon damage, which is 2 to the boss. And we get to draw a card. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. This character is insane. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to play Crescent Strike. So Crescent Strike chains off of a red. So now we get to play that one for free. And I apologize, this red card... Oh, yep, let's backtrack. We're going a little too fast here. This red card is going to allow us to do our weapon damage as well. So this procced and let us do weapon damage and draw a card. Playing a red card just innately lets you deal weapon damage. So that's going to do another 2, which is going to do a wound to him because he only needs 4 damage in order to move down. Now, because we played our red card, we are going to trigger the red behavior card. So let's go ahead and see what that does. The active player discards the top 3 cards of their deck. That player suffers damage unless we draw a defensive card, or we discard a defensive card this way. I think I have the autofocus off for the top camera, so I'm gonna double check that. Let's see. Logitune. Bum bum bum. Bear with me one moment. Oh yeah, it's all the way over there. The autofocus can be a little bit finicky, but I'm hoping maybe with some better lighting it works a little bit better. Yeah, we do have autofocus off, so we're gonna try. We're gonna try autofocus, because hopefully that allows us to show these a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, I have to discard the top 3 cards of my deck and hope I get a defensive card. Otherwise, I'm taking 2 damage because he has a boost this round. And there it is. We got a defensive card, so we are in the clear. Now, a new behavior card is immediately going to go in there, and it is another red, unfortunately. So we are going to proc that. So we're going to go ahead and then do Crescent Strike, which chains off of a red card. And that's going to allow us to do weapon damage again. So we're going to do 2 more. And this says, increase the sequence limit of this turn by 1. So now we're able to play 6 cards. So this is going to get crazy on turn 1. We also have 3 attack cards in a row now. So we are going to trigger our first Blade Dance, which is going to do another 3 damage. So that's going to wound him and have 1 damage left over into the next wound. And because we triggered Battle Dance, we're going to do an additional weapon because of or additional damage because of our weapon. This seems not right. I wonder if the expansion characters are like balanced for some of the early game, because this seems very powerful and I'm not even done with my turn yet. Okay. So we do have 3 out there now. And because we played 2 red cards, we get to reclaim Shadow Step. So that does have the reclaim of 2 red attacks in a row. So we get to put that back in our hand. Now we're going to go ahead and do the next red behavior. Because we did play another red card. And once again, it's the same thing. Blazing Assault. The active player discards the top 3 cards of their deck. We take damage if we don't draw a defensive card. It has a bonus effect on this one, as you can see on the bottom there. And if he had 2 struggle, he would be able to trigger this effect again. But because I got rid of all of his struggle, he is not going to do that. So that is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and discard the top 3 again. Attack. Defense. We are good. So we are in the clear for that. This card also had the aggro icon, so we're going to go ahead and take the aggro token away from Darian. And now our character currently is going to have aggro. Let's see. Man, this is just awesome. So we have Slice here, which is going to let us chain off of a red. And that is going to be another attack card. That is a blue one, so that would get rid of struggle if he had any left, which he does not currently. But that's going to chain for free. And because we have 4... Oh, I'm sorry, we should have refreshed the behavior card. That's just going to go in there. We're good, it didn't trigger. Because we have 4 attacks in a row, we're going to do another 5 damage. And that, for sure, is going to push him down to 7 wounds. And that's going to change his stance now. Okay. Oh man, I wonder Oh, he's still vulnerable in the back. I was going to say, I wonder if this changes in the middle of the fight, if I can no longer hit him if I'm not there. Which makes sense, I guess. So yeah, now he is going to be... He had 2, we did 2 more, so there's going to be 3 carrying over. He is now going to be in stance 2, and he's going to take 6 struggle, because it's 3 per player, in order for us to do a wound to him. But now he's vulnerable in more locations, but not in front of him anymore. He's going to keep that damage token because it's still the same round. And then the peril is also going to update, which is interesting because this was going to trigger at the end. But now that... Or actually, no. Because I'm the aggro player now and I'm not threatened. Alright. So the new one says, when a behavior card with Firestorm is revealed, immediately place a fire terrain in the front sector. So we have to look for that keyword now whenever we draw behavior cards, or we flip those over. Another thing to mention, because we are just on a roll here, this turn is just very active. We have this bonus objective called Hit the Tail, and it's permanent, which means that this is not ever going to change when his stances change. It says if we do 2 damage cards in a row, and you are in the rear sector, place a counter on this card. If we get 2 counters per player, so it's going to be 4 for this card, Varaxin suffers 2 wounds, then removes this from the game. So not 2 damage, but 2 whole wounds, which is very, very powerful, and that could be incredibly strong if you hold out to do this till the end. I never thought about that, because he's going to be harder to wound in stance 2 and 3. So proccing that and immediately just doing 2 wound would be very, very effective. Okay, so that all flipped over. He already has 3 damage on him because I hit for another 5. And I've done 4 attack cards in a row. So we have 2 sets of 2. So we get to place 2 counters on Hit the Tail because we are behind him hitting his tail. Okay. What else do we got here? So we are able to play 2 more cards technically if we are able to. Wow. So Wall of Blades. If you have 3 cards or more in your sequence, you can play this card without paying the stamina cost. And at this point we have no more attack cards. We did trigger a second Blade Dance, so that would trigger a second Battle Dance, so that would trigger our weapon again to do an additional damage as well. So he's actually at 4 damage at wound 7. And yeah, we don't have any more attack cards, so we're okay to kind of break this chain and try to get some defensive cards out there. We may just try to end with 2 cards in our hand to have stamina left over for the next turn, or maybe keep something that will be helpful for the other player. So we are going to play Wall of Blades for free, because that at least gets us a defense card in our sequence, which will help when we draw attrition. And we can lay 1 more card. This one says when you reveal an attrition card, you may discard this card from your hand to discard that attrition card and reveal another one instead. So that could be helpful if we draw poorly. Dude, isn't this crazy? This is my main character. Like I love the overrun, like the vaulting. Makes me think of Monster Hunter. And the chain effect where you get to chain things for free is so freaking cool. Like it feels so rewarding already, and this is just the starting deck and the starting weapon. Okay. I think we'll keep our assist card. Oh, and then also, when I reclaimed it, I could immediately move without paying any stamina cost. But I would not have wanted to do that at that point, I believe. Yeah, I think we're okay with not moving. That's fine. I kind of want to get another card out there, but I would have to discard something. And this one that lets me deny could be really good if I draw a poor attrition card. Maybe we just stop there. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to stop with 3 cards in our hand. And Yeah. So none of these behaviors are going to trigger that we have here so far. And let's see. We activated everything that we have here. And then we go to attrition. So we need to do attrition before we kind of discard all of these, just so we can see what we have going on. And we don't confuse ourselves. Oops, I accidentally drew 2. So we drew a 1. And we have 1 defense card. So we are not going to reset that. And we're not going to take damage either. So that is fantastic. That was an amazing turn. So we're going to go ahead and discard in order. Man, now that I'm getting the hang of this, I'm really, really enjoying it. Okay, so end of turn. Discard those cards. We're going to draw up to our hand size again. So we have 3, so we'll draw 2 more. Okay. Nothing crazy, unfortunately. And then the monster is going to turn to the aggro player. Now, last time this didn't change because the aggro player was already in front of him. But we took aggro during our massacre, crazy amount of attacks. So he is going to go ahead and turn towards me. All right. Man, we got 2 hit counters on the tail, though. That is pretty awesome. I am very happy with that. All right, so that was both players. So now we're going to trigger the end of round phase. So we are going to be moving to round 2. Unfortunately, we do have a behavior card that has the little hourglass icon, which means this triggers at the end of the round. And what's even worse is we have another behavior card here that this icon means if another behavior is triggered, this one will trigger right after it. So it's kind of like a ripple effect. So that's terrible. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at this card. So it's going to say each player in the front sector, which is Kara right now, must either immediately move or suffer a damage. The Varaxan turns to the player with the fewest defensive cards in their hand. This actually is beneficial to us, depending on where he turns. So he's not vulnerable in the front anymore. And so we don't want to be in front of him. And if we move over here, we actually get bonus damage. So we will move. And now we have to check the defensive cards. So whoever has the least. Wow. Kara has 4. And Darian has 3. So the boss is going to turn to Darian. And that's okay. That's actually not that bad. So now Kara is in like prime position to just deal a ton of damage, which is fantastic. We will go ahead and refill that slot. And now we're going to go ahead and do the second behavior card. Place a fire terrain in the front sector. All right, let's get that. And the way fire works in this game is this is a fire terrain token. This is the dark red side. This is how it will spawn in whenever it comes out. At the end of a round, it will flip over to its like yellowish side. And then at the end of the next round, it will get discarded from the map. Now what fire does is if you are in that zone, you cannot play cards into your sequence. So you are just unable to play cards. It's terrible. It's not great. And if he ever triggers something that lays a fire terrain token in a zone that already has a fire terrain token, it's going to kind of like reinvigorate the fire. So if it was yellow, it would go back dark red. And it's going to burn the player, which is going to do bonus damage to them when they run out of cards in their deck. So that's not fun. This card also has a bonus effect for a struggle cost of 1, but he doesn't have any struggle because we are just completely gimping him when it comes to his pool of struggle, which is fantastic. So that will get discarded. And then a new behavior card comes out. Alrighty. Oh yes, we also have to check to see if either of these had the text Firestorm. And that is not the case. Here's an example of a card that does have Firestorm. You can see in the red at the very top of the card. That was one that came out very early in the game. So his peril does not trigger either. Oh, I was incorrect on one thing. So when he did change stances, he was supposed to gain 1 struggle per player. And then during her turn, So I broke him in the middle of his turn with the second red card, I believe. And then I played a blue. Wait, this is the final card. So I played a blue there. I think I just played one additional blue. So one struggle, little retroactive, one struggle would have gotten removed. So when he did this card, Flamethrower, he actually does have enough struggle to proc that. And that's what kind of reminded me of that when I was looking at his stance card. So he will spend that one struggle. And it says each player in the front sector suffers damage unless they can discard a green defense card from their hand. You know what? We're just going to take the hit. I'd rather not lose a card. He's already struggling as is. All right. So that was the behavior cards. And now we're going to be starting from the beginning of the round. I'm just double checking to make sure I did not miss anything. He turned to Darien after that behavior card. We did the bonus effect. The peril does not trigger, and his stance is done. Okay. So he loses the bonus damage that he had from the last round. So now he's back to just doing his base stance damage, which for stance 2 is 2 damage. Or I'm sorry, 1 damage. So he's still doing only 1 damage. Now we have the choice to consume our potions at the beginning of a round. He only has 1 damage. Kara hasn't been hit yet. So I think we're just going to let that go. And then we go to the behavior refresh. So we have a card with the number 1 here. That is the lowest number. That's going to get discarded. A new card is going to come out. And we're going to shuffle this because this pile has run out. And when this gets shuffled and he runs out of behavior cards, he's going to gain a struggle. That's what it is. Cool. All right. I think that's right. Now, his behaviors that are currently out are if you play a blue card, it triggers. If you start your turn at his tail, it triggers, which we are not. Fantastic. And if you gain a threatened token, I believe that's what that one is. If you gain a threatened token, that one will trigger. So it's going to incentivize you to move even more. Let's see. After a player becomes threatened, yes. So you have to gain a threatened token, not have a threatened token, which is an important to differentiate. Okay. Now the monster is also going to gain struggle, 1 per player. So he is up to 3 now. Little scary. And then we go into player phase. So we are spawning in the beginning, or we are in front of him at the beginning of our turn on Darien. We are definitely going to move, which is going to get rid of our threat token and allow us to attack. You know what? See, I'm starting to like, now that I'm understanding the basics of the game, I'm starting to try to think of really cool plays that we can do, like a little bit more intricate, nothing super fancy. But we know Kara has the ability to overrun. And we know we want to hit the tail, but we don't want to start in the tail position. So if we move Darien to the right and he gets aggro, he's going to force the boss to turn and face right. And then when Kara goes, Kara, if she draws an overrun card, which I'm not sure. Let's see. Oof. Does not have an overrun card, but we do have a draw. So there is some hope. But if we can position him to face that way, allow Kara to overrun, flip over to the other side, she will not start in the tail position, but she will end in the tail position and be able to do damage on the tail and hopefully break it. So that's a cool, like, instead of worrying about kind of the basics, it's like, okay, now I kind of understand that. Here's a cool way we can work together to pull off like a really neat move and then even work down on the permanent goal that we have here. Okay, so let's look at Darien's cards. We do need to discard 1 card in order to move. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and discard. Yeah, we're going to discard Engage. So we'll do that just to get a stamina in order to move. And that's going to allow us to move him over into the right sector. And we did not play a blue card that was discarding it, so we are clear of that as of right now. Play that, then a red. So I think I'm going to discard Heavy Clash. And that's going to give us 2 stamina. And we're going to play Pressing Strike, which costs 2, but allows us to draw 2 and gains us aggro. So that's going to gain us aggro. Oops, sorry. So we have our aggro token here. Oh, that is actually very low. Let me adjust that real quick. So A. Yeah. Let's do that. That's saved. Oh, we updated the wrong one. That's all right. So that is A. Save A. Okay, there we go. We did it. All right. So yes, we're going to get aggro, and then we're going to go ahead and draw 2, and we're going to get rid of 1 of his struggles. Definitely want to do that. Now, ooh, we got 2 red cards. That's exciting. Now, because we played a blue card, we have to trigger the behavior. Unfortunate. So, this behavior card says, Varaxin turns to the active player. Damn it. That means we can't attack him because he's going to face us now. And he is not vulnerable in the front. That is unfortunate. Then place a fire terrain in the front sector. No! The fire is spreading. The fire is spreading. And then, because he has 1 struggle, he's going to do the bonus. The active player suffers damage unless they have a green in their sequence. Which we do not. We do not have a green card in our sequence right now. Oh man, that stung. So, we drew 2 and we can't really do anything with it. We did get aggro at least. But we can't play cards here, and we also can't hit him in the front. That did not have Firestorm on it. Man, I finally drew 2 red cards. No. Why? Not like this. Yeah, so we do not have the ability to move. We don't have any... Oh. This could be helpful. So when I got hit, just there I got hit for a damage because I didn't have a green. And I have a resilience card. So I get to show that I have a resilience card in my hand, which allows me to draw a card for free. Oh, we got a little bit of synergy coming up for his future turn. But yeah. We could play another draw, but there's just really no point here. Wow. That is unfortunate. So we have a dud. He just stopped us from being able to continue our turn. I swear, I just have no luck playing this character. It's always a struggle. So we're going to go ahead and discard the blue. We do not trigger anything else. And we are in a fire terrain zone. So that is not great for us. Yeah. That's his turn. We do not draw back up because we are already at 5 cards in our hand. Womp womp. That's unfortunate. Okay. Shift over. Oh, I'm sorry. We got to do attrition. We do not have threat this time because I moved. Let me make sure I remove that. So we're only going to draw 1 attrition card. And we only had a blue attack card. So chances are we're getting hit. Yep. That's a 2. There is a 0 in the deck, I believe. But we did not draw that. So we will take the hit. All right. He's going to turn to the aggro player. Ta-da, he doesn't move. Now it's Kara's turn, and we have to decide if we want to move, which we absolutely do. Because we can't do anything while standing in fire. That's a really good card. So, once again, we don't have anything that costs 2 here. So I'm just going to go ahead and discard the Shadow Step to see if we can get lucky and proc a Reclaim, which currently I don't think we can, but that's all right. And we're going to go ahead and move up to the north of the board. There was nothing for starting in front of him, so we're clear on behavior cards, and we're not going to get a threat token, so we're good on that one as well. All right. What do we got here? Chain red, draw 1. We do not have a red. So, I think we're going to discard Deny just to get the stamina, and we're going to play Twist. So this could be free if we had a red card. We don't. But it's going to let us draw 1. And we're also going to get aggro because of that card. That doesn't trigger anything on behaviors, so we're good there. And we drew Disengage. When the monster changes its orientation, you may discard this card from your hand to draw up to your hand size limit. That's really freaking cool. So if we ever got a behavior that forced the boss to turn, we immediately just get the draw back up. Dude, this character's cracked. All right. Yeah, this hand kind of sucks again. We don't have any attack cards, so this card lets us draw 1 for each attack card in our sequence to a max of 3. We don't have any attack cards. So, that being said, I know he had an assist. Yeah, no, I think we let him keep his cards. We're just having a stinker of a time. That first turn was too good. It was bound to happen. So yeah, we have no way of drawing anymore. So we got a whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing burger. Oh, also, he would have gotten additional stamina because he ended his turn with 2 or more cards. So he's going to have 1 stamina to spend. And I think we're going to be in the same scenario here with this character. I kind of want to get rid of some of these cards. Yeah, this would be very good if that was going to proc this turn. I mean, it still could be good next turn. But I just want to get another defense card down. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. I would lose out on this effect, which could be extremely potent if it pans out that way. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Oh, that would proc off of itself. You know what? No, there's a chance we can do something. So we're going to discard Swing for a stamina. And we're going to play Dancing. And then we get to draw 1 for each attack in your sequence. And that is an attack card, so we do get to draw 1. And we got a yellow card. When another player plays a red in their sequence, you may discard this card from your hand to search the deck for a red and add it to your hand. Then reshuffle your deck. That's cool. Okay. And then, yeah, I think we end there. Because we'll still end with 2 cards. We still have Disengage. This could be a really cool proc off of our other player's turn. And we will gain that 1 stamina for our following turn. Yeah, it's not bad. All right, so we have 1 defense card out. Fingers crossed, we draw an attrition of 1. And we got 2. That's unfortunate. So we are going to take 1 damage. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and discard in order. And we are in end of round again. So we did the attrition, we discarded, and now the monster is going to go ahead and turn to me, because I have aggro. Oof, that puts Darien in a really bad position. I didn't even think about that. And... yeah, I would have drawn up to my hand size before he turned. Oh, we have something good going on there in a future turn. Okay, so now we are in round 3, and for the a little bit of FYI here, the tracker here, if we ever get to round 10 and finish that round and we do not defeat the boss by then, we lose. So that is one of the ways that we can lose, as well as all of our players getting KO'd and not being able to get up. Okay. We do have an end of round behavior. I'm just checking if there's anything else I'm missing. I do not believe so. I think we're good. Okay. So we're going to do the end of round behavior. And then flip that guy over. Each player in the front sector must either immediately move or suffer a damage. When then Varaxon's going to turn to the player with the least amount of defense. So we got that one again. And once again, that's actually really good for us. We don't want to be in the front. So that's going to let Kara move over to the left and be away from fire. Now he's going to turn, and this could be beneficial. Actually, this is just beneficial all around, because Darien was going to be in a position where he could not move. If he moved left, he couldn't play because of the fire. And if he moved right, he was going to be in front of the monster, and he's not vulnerable from the front. So he was going to be in a position where he just couldn't attack again. Or kind of get just stuck. Okay, so Kara has 3 defense cards. Darien also has 3. So I guess in this scenario, we'd get to choose. Yeah, and we're going to have him... I think we're going to have him face Darien, because if he's facing Kara... Yeah, we do this. Because Darien can move on his turn. And then if he gets aggro on his turn, which he most likely will, this boss will turn that way. And that'll ensure that we don't trigger the... If you start your turn at the tail, then we won't trigger that behavior effect. And we do want to try to avoid that as much as possible. We had 2 kind of dud attacks, or 2 bad turns. And I think these turns are going to be a lot better. So we just didn't get like a lot of damage cards or be able to play them. So like the first one was just like a lot, and then the second one wasn't so much. So I think we're going to have like a big surge of damage here again. And then when we break the tail, that'll be 2 wounds, and that could be pretty quick. So I'm hopeful. Fingies crossed. Okay. So last thing, end of round. Let's see. The fires are going to flip. That's what I was thinking of. To their yellow side. So one more round, they're going to be gone. We did not draw a card with Firestorm, so the peril's good. And he did not change stances. And he already turned. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's Darien's turn now. So he is definitely going to move. We have to figure out what we're going to do to accomplish that. We don't have any blue, so that... Ooh, that... Oh, man, there's so many possibilities here. Yellow into red. Yeah. Okay. That could be good. Interesting, interesting, interesting. All right. So we are on the side of him, which means we are able... Oh, we can choose to heal, and I have to do the refresh. Okay, so that was end of round. We're starting a fresh new round. Very top. We can choose to heal if we want. I think we're okay. I think we're going to save on the potions for now. Then we're going to do monster upkeep. So he is going to lose his lowest one, which is this threat card. Oh, and then a red behavior card's going to come out. That's lame. He's also going to get 2 struggle per player, or 1 struggle per player. So it's going to bump him up to 4 now. He's getting dangerously close to triggering that effect. Oh. Okay. So yeah, we have to discard in order to move here. I think we're going to discard retreat. It's so tough. This could end up being a good amount of damage if we end up drawing a blue. Yeah, I think we do that. So we're going to discard Fade, empty Fade for 1 stamina. Oh, we do have the free stamina as well. Ooh. So yeah, we'll discard our free stamina in order to move. Okay, okay. And then we will discard empty Fade. And we're going to play Reactive Guard. And that one has resilience on it. We didn't get hit. But it says if we play a red card after it, we get to draw 1. Which is great. Then we're going to go ahead and get rid of Retreat. Because I'm hopeful that we get something to benefit Jumping Slice here. So that's going to give us 2 stamina. And we're only going to spend 1. So we're going to play Dragon Strike. And it is a red card, so a couple things are going to happen here. We're going to gain aggro. We are going to proc both of these. So this says if I play a red after this, I draw. And this says if I played a yellow before it, I draw. So I get to draw 2. Little synergy action. Oh my gosh, we might actually proc some of his stuff here. Okay. And then the behavior is going to go off. I'm sorry, because it's a red card, we are going to do 2 damage. So that is going to be 6. Which means we did another wound. Yay! He's down to 6. Okay. Trigger the behavior. Let's go. The active player discards the top 3 cards of their deck and suffers damage if you don't get a defensive card. Also, he's going to use 2 struggle to double that effect. So we have to do that twice. Let's see. Kind of flipping these over. We did get 1 defensive card. So we are in the clear for the first one. And then we're going to do it one more time. And there's another defensive card for our second 3. So we are good. No damage from that. Awesome. Okay. That will get discarded. This one will go up. And then this one is a chain effect. So we get another one, unfortunately. Place a fire terrain in the front sector. Ooh, okay. So he's not facing us. But that means he's going to reignite the fire on the right side. And no one's there, so no one gets burned. Then the bottom part says each player in the front sector suffers damage unless they discard a green. No one is there, and he's going to spend a struggle to do so. So that was kind of a waste for him. So that's actually really good for us. And now we have a green card behavior there. Man, that costs 3. Holy. Yikes. Man. We definitely want to try to get another attack out. That's for sure. So we could get rid of... No, that's actually not even 3. We are unable to do that. Vulnerable would be very, very handy, because that would let Kara do a really big hit next turn. And this effect would be really good, which increases the attack by 3 times your weapon level. But we do not have... You have to pay for this card with a blue, and we don't have a blue in hand. Now, there's a little bit of a risk reward we could do here. So we're going to try this. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, but if we play the green, we trigger a behavior. And then we risk him turning. I don't think it's worth it. Okay, we're just going to discard 1. We're going to play Jumping Slice. And that's just going to do weapon damage for us because we don't have the ability to trigger the effect. So we get 2 damage on him. And we played 2 red cards. This is a monumentous moment. So I get to increase the damage the attack deals by 2 and remove a struggle. So I'm doing 2 more. And I get to place a counter on my mastery because I played 2 red cards in a row. Yay! So we have 1 red card left. Now we're going to go ahead and discard an order. Okay. And then we're going to do the attrition phase. We had... See? We had a yellow, so we had 1 defense card. So we're hoping this is a 1. Yikes! That's not good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We take another damage. So he's at 3 damage now. That potion's sounding more and more appealing. And then we're going to draw up to our hand size. And we are out of cards. Okay. Let's see, is this... I feel like this is starting to get laggy. I wonder if the phone's getting hot. Might be getting a little toasty. Okay. So he is going to turn to the aggro player. Oopsie. Which is there. And we cannot hit the tail, unfortunately. Okay, but that does turn him away. So Kara is not in front or behind him, so neither of those behaviors are going to proc. But we do have the green behavior card there, which is most likely going to proc. Ooh, but disengage could be a good counter to that. Oh, I forgot to do that. We're actually going to do that just because I missed that. I remember reading it earlier. So when another player plays a red card in their sequence, you may discard this card from your hand and search your deck for a red card and add it to your hand. So we are going to do that. We only have 1 card left in our deck, and it is red. So that could have ended poorly. Do we have any draw cards? Interesting. Oof. I'm also not going to be moving. So I am going to get a threat token. And our deck is... Wait, what are these? I have a hand... What are these cards? You may discard the card from your hand immediately. Oh, I think these were ones we had to flip over for the draw 3 one. Okay, so we are out of cards. Okay, go ahead and shuffle that guy up. In case we have to draw up again. Okay, so do we have anything to let us draw? I do not think so. It's kind of a weird turn. Chain green. Yeah, we're really not going to be laying a lot of cards here, I don't think. So, I think what we're going to do... We need these 3 cards. We're going to discard Airblade. And because we discarded that, we're going to play Run Through, which says you may immediately overrun the monster. And we're not going to do that. But that'll get a defense card in our sequence. And that does proc green. And we're going to see if that is going to do something that will make disengage helpful. The active player becomes threatened. We already are. So that does nothing. That's great. Now we have a red activation behavior, which unfortunately is going to proc. And we're going to play Piercing Strike, which has a chain off of green. And it says you may immediately overrun the monster. So we're, oddly enough, we're actually going to... Oh, see, now we have a decision here. Because if that red card ends up triggering him to turn, there's a chance that we draw back up to our hand size and our turn just continues. But if he ends up turning to us, we wouldn't be able to hit him anyway. So we do 2 damage because it is an attack card, and that is going to be 6 again. So now we are at 6, and that's going to do another wound. So he's down to 5. And we are going to overrun. So it's a bit weird. We're going to overrun. It's going to put us in a fire area, which means we can't play any more cards into our sequence. But we have backstab. When... Oh, I'm sorry. We need to do... Yeah, we need to do that first, I believe. Because we played the red card. Let's check that out. Firestorm. Uh-oh. The active player discards top 3 cards of their deck and suffers damage if they don't draw a defense card. And then this says, when a behavior card with Firestorm is revealed, immediately place a fire terrain in the front sector. This is terrible. We are just covered in fire. Okay, so that happens. We have to shuffle the behavior deck, which means he's going to get a struggle. Man, these are not great. Okay, and then we're going to play Backstab, and it says, when you overrun the monster, you may discard this card from your hand to deal 4 weapon level damage. So we are going to discard that. Because it's not part of our sequence, we're still allowed to do that. And that's going to do 4 damage to him. So we are getting very close to getting him down. And that is his side, so we're still safe to do that as well. And yeah, also, oh man, because I overrun here, I flip over my mastery, because that was my 2nd time doing it. And that says, when you overrun the monster, deal your base weapon damage or draw 1. So this happens after we overrun, so we're not going to get that effect now. But in future turns, every time we overrun, we can do more damage or we can draw a card. So that is sick. Okay. And yeah, that card did not make him change orientation. So we don't get to play Disengage. So now we're going to go ahead and do Attrition. And we drew a 2. And we only have 1 defense card in our sequence, unfortunately. So we are going to take a damage for that. It's definitely getting to potion time here. Go ahead and discard those cards. That is going to be end of round since Kara went. And we did not play any aggro cards. So the boss is going to continue to face Darian when it comes to the aggro portion. We're going to go ahead and draw up to our hand limit. We're going to see if we have any end of round behaviors, which we do not. Okay, and then we're going to get to the consumption. So if we use our potion now, we only heal for 2 because the attrition card on top is 2 and not 1 or lower. But we are going to do that on Darian. So we're going to go ahead and heal for 2. It may not be the best use, but I don't know. Feels like a good time. We do have an assist. We do have 2 assists there. All right. And then, there's no more end of round stuff, I believe. Double checking. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and do, we did consume, we're going to do behavior refresh. So the threat behavior is going to be removed. And then it's going to get replaced with red card. No. Also, this fire goes away. These two fires flip to the yellow side. All right. And then he's going to gain a struggle per player. So he is at 4 again. Still has not procced that effect. So we're cool. We're chilling. Now, Darian, unfortunately, is starting in front of the boss. So he's going to trigger that behavior card. He's going to gain 1 struggle per player and gain +1 damage this round. Oh no, so that puts him at 6 struggle. So he's going to gain an extra damage. And the 6 struggle is going to cause him to hit everybody for his round, his current stance damage, which is going to be 2. We are hurting. And he's going to drop down to 1 struggle per player, so he's at 2 now. And then we're going to put a new behavior, which is end of round, into play. Okay. And then Darian has to choose whether he's going to move or not. Absolutely going to move. Okay. And we have to figure out what we're going to discard in order to do that. Let's see. 2-1. There's that 3 cost. Ooh. So we're going to do quick attack. When you discard this card from your hand, deal your base weapon damage. So we get to do a free 2 damage, which is going to be 6 again. And we're going to move him down to wound 4. We're getting close to that final stance, which is a little scary. That could be very, very good. Oh, if we were in the flank. Oh, we are in a flank. We are in a flank. Oh, that's crazy. Yes, we're going to do something. Okay, so slash to the flank says if you're in a flank sector, you may play a red card in your next, as the next card in your sequence without paying the stamina cost. We won't be able to do counter strike, but we don't have enough stamina to do everything. Wait a second. Oh no, if we had the mastery, this costs 0, but it makes our next card cost 1 less. And we would have been able to play these cards for free. Oh man, that could have been awesome. So yeah, that being said, we're going to discard Dragon Dash because we don't really have a use for it outside of the fact that it's a defensive card. And we're going to play slash. Yeah, slash to the flank. And then we're going to play, and there's no blue behavior over there, so we're good. Then we're going to play Precise Strike. This attack inflicts vulnerable. So until the end of this round, we can choose to proc vulnerable, which will double the damage of that attack. So hopefully Kara gets a really, really heavy hitting attack. That's what we're hoping for. That is a red card. It is going to do 2 damage. And it's going to proc the red behavior card. The active player discards the top 3 cards. Okay, so we're doing that again. Let me go ahead and shuffle. And then he's going to repeat because he has enough struggle to do that. Fortunately, we only played 1 red card. So we're not going to be able to proc our weapon and get our counter for our mastery. Man, he's going to be hurting really soon. I'm a little worried. It started off really good, and now we're kind of getting chunked. Okay, so let's flip 3. Okay, we did get a defense card for the first 3. Then we're going to go ahead and repeat because of the struggle. Oh, no! That's really bad. So he's going to get hit for another 2 damage. Oh no, he's at 5. He only has 4 health left. Yikes. Okay. Oh, the plant, the plant. So I started in the front. Should I have healed 1? Because I had 1 damage left over because my potion only healed 2. Let me make sure. This could be... Every little bit counts. At the start of your turn, if you are in the sector with the Bathinus terrain, heal damage equal to your weapon level. Yeah, so he would have healed 1 because I started my turn up there before moving. So we are going to take that. We need every little bit of health that we have. Okay. So he is vulnerable. We're going to go ahead and discard these in order. And a new behavior card comes out. It is green. Attrition. Oh. It is 1. Which... Oh no. Wait, what was our last card? Counter-Strike. This is bad. He takes another 2 damage. So he's at 6 of 9. Oh my god. No. Okay. Draw up. Okay. And then he's going to turn to the aggro player. Still has vulnerable on him. Oh, that's bad. So because of that, Kara is going to trigger the starting the turn at the tail position effect. So. Yeah, I believe we started our turn there. Active player suffers damage unless they can discard a green from their hand. If hit the tail objective has been completed, this card has no effect. Unfortunately, it has not been. So, I can get rid of a green, and if I get rid of the green, it also puts me in a position... Oh, that's rough. I do have an extra stamina there. I don't want to trigger the green behavior anyway. This is so bad. This got really bad really fast. So Whipping Tail is gone. Now we have a red behavior in the mix. And we're going to go ahead and move down and use our stamina for that movement. Man, I really want to hit his tail, but the fire is just blocking us right now. We do have assist cards on this guy. We have a assist card. So we're going to do that. I want this card to be, or this turn to be as crazy as humanly possible. Because we are struggling right now. So we're going to play Heavy Clash, which is going to be an assist for Kara, which lets me draw another card. Okay. Chain red, chain blue. Oof. I want to overrun so bad, but I'm not. It would put me in the fire. So one of these has to go. If I play this before a red card, chain blue. So I can do play this, chain off of that, and then and then chain off of that, and then chain off of that. So I have to get rid of this one. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do this, get rid of this one for the 2 stamina, and then we're going to play Half Moon. And that is going to get rid of a struggle. And it does not trigger the card effects yet, or the behaviors. So we're okay there. And then we're going to chain off of that with Scythe. So that's going to let us do 2 damage to him. And it's going to allow us to remove a struggle. And it's going to trigger the red behavior. Red behavior. The active player discards the top 3 cards of their deck. Okay. And it's also Firestorm. So we immediately place a fire terrain in the front sector. Thank goodness that is not on Kara, because that would be awful. And then we got a blue behavior going up there. And then I have to go ahead and discard 3. Okay, I got a defense card, so we're alive. Yeah, I need to make sure I have these piles a little separated there. Okay. And then I'm going to chain a red off of a red, and that increases the sequence limit by 1 this turn, and I'm going to do another 2 damage. Oh, this might have a bad effect, I don't know. So that was 6, which is going to bring him down to wound of 3, which is going to change his stance. So now we are going to be in stance 3. Place, it says when revealed, place a fire terrain in each threatened sector. Oh, we moved. So we are not threatened. Okay, yeah, no one's threatened because we've been moving. So we are good on that. But now he's vulnerable from every direction. He's going to be doing a base of 2 damage, and he needs 8 damage per wound in order to break. And then our peril card is also going to change. When a behavior card with Firestorm is revealed, immediately place a fire terrain in the front sector. Players in that sector become threatened. Oh, jeez. It's just stockpiling. Okay. And we also get aggro with that card. And we also have 3, so we kind of skipped here. Battle Dance is going to do another 3 damage. Okay. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else there. We're good over there for now. And, oh, because we triggered Battle Dance, we're going to do an additional damage from our weapon. That's what I was looking for. Now, this is where we're going to get a little crazy. So that's those cards. The last card we're going to play is Slice, which chains off of a red. So because we're chaining off of a red, first of all, we get rid of a struggle, which there aren't any left. But we now have 4 attack cards in consecutive order. So we're going to do Battle Dance again, which is going to be 5 damage. And then when you trigger Battle Dance, deal 1 damage. So with Vulnerable, I need to understand if we can stack the damage before triggering it or how that works exactly. Okay, place a vulnerable token. While the monster is vulnerable, when you or another player deals damage to the monster, you may discard the vulnerable token to double that damage. At the end of the round, if it is in play, remove it. The effect of vulnerable doubles the amount of damage caused by a single source of damage. That's what I was wondering. You cannot inflict vulnerable if the monster is already vulnerable. Okay. So the 5 damage that we're going to be doing with our 4-card Battle Dance is now going to become 10 damage. And then we're going to do an additional 1. So we're doing 11 points of damage. So 4 of that, let's see, we're going to have 7 left over. Because that's going to knock him down to wound 2. We're going to do 7 damage. We're going to have 7 left over. So he's 1 away from getting his wound knocked down again. And the vulnerable token is going to get used. And if we break the tail at this point, we just win the game. We're not in a great position in order to do that, but yes. So we played a blue card, so it is going to trigger the blue behavior. Oh my gosh, this guy is a piece of work. He's going to turn to the active player and then place a fire terrain in that sector. So we literally have fire in every in all 4 sectors of the map. Okay. He doesn't have any struggle, though. So he can't do the bottom part. And that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So this will come out. Okay. And then we're going to discard in order. We did not overrun at all. So I need to make sure I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm sorry. We had... It was all attack cards. Oh my gosh. So we would have reclaimed that because we played 2 red cards in a row. I don't know if that matters. It says you may immediately move without paying any stamina cost. The blue is what triggered. That's interesting. I wonder if that would have triggered the tail. If it's based on attacks to the tail in order. I think it has to be attacks to the tail. So we just get to reclaim this. There's no point to really move in that scenario. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we would not have attacked him per se. That I'm a little unsure about. But we're going to draw up. Oh yeah, we have to do attrition. We got 1. Oh, no. Wait, so... Yeah, we wouldn't be able to play that. Oh, yeah, that's bad. So 4. So we are going to take... We got 4. We're taking 3 points of damage, I think. Because he has the +1 for the round right now, and he's in his 3rd stance. So we are almost dead. Yeah. We are 2 off of death. Okay. So... That was the end of round behavior, I think. No, that was the blue card. Oh god, it's only going to get worse. Okay, so now we're going to be moving down to round 5. It already turned to me. So now we have to do the end of round behavior. This might be it. I don't know. Each player in the front sector must either immediately move or suffer damage. When Varaxin turns to the player with... Then he turns to the player with the fewest defense cards. Okay, so it's that one again. Definitely going to move. Let's see. He has 3. She has 4. So he is going to turn... Or he is going to turn to Darien, which could be good. But we do have the chain effect. Oh, gosh. Okay. So he doesn't have any struggle. Thank goodness. But he's going to place a fire terrain in the front sector. And I need to shuffle these. So, there's already a fire token there. So, in this case, the fire token is... That would have happened now. Because we're doing end-of-round behaviors. I don't know the order in which we do the tokens. I think terrain's last in the order of operations. So he is going to get burned. And then we do need to refill these. So we got front and end of round. But the fire tokens are going to flip now. So behavior goes first. So this would get flipped after the behavior. And then these 2 will go away. So we have a chance to finish this freaking fight. Okay, so these are... We do have... Ooh, we have double assist. We have an overrun. When a behavior card is revealed, you can discard this to immediately overrun the monster. That could have been good. Alright. So that is that. We did not get any Firestorm draws, thank God. So now we're going to go to the consume phase. We are 100% going to do the potion on Kara, which is going to heal for 4 because the attrition is 1 or lower. He is hurting really bad, which is unfortunate. And he only has 4 cards to play. So, oh my gosh. This is very, very unlucky. So he is going to go now. And he is starting in front of the monster. So he's going to trigger this. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we're going to do refresh first. Oh, yep. It's going to be getting rid of that. Guess we can just leave that down. That'll come out. The monster is going to gain 1 struggle per player. And then we go to player turn. All right. So we are in front of the monster. So this behavior is going to trigger. When, oh my gosh, not again. Hold on a second. When a behavior card is revealed, you may discard this card from your hand to immediately overrun the monster. Oh, it doesn't even stop it. That's not helpful. Okay. So he's going to gain 1 struggle per player. So that'll be 3 now. And plus 1 damage this round. Man, this is not good. Now we have 2 red behavior things there, so we really don't want to attack. Especially on him. He's ready to croak. Also, when I had to shuffle my decks, I'm supposed to take my weapon level damage, which that would not have killed him. He's at 7. And then she's at 4 now. Man, we are cutting it really, really close. I think we have to do that. We definitely want to play this card. Oh, but we got to try to move first. We have like such limited play here. It's very, very unfortunate. He just doesn't have anything really going for him. So we're going to discard Counterstrike in order to move. Wow. Cost 1. Could draw 2. This would let that person draw, but only 1 card. So we're going to get rid of Guardian Blade. And that's going to give us 2 stamina. And we're going to play Retreat, which is going to let us draw 2 cards. Really hoping for just, I don't know, a miracle, I guess. Okay. So we're going to get rid of Engage to get 1 stamina. We're going to play Empty Fade. You may play a card with Slash as the next card in your sequence without paying its stamina cost. So this card does have Slash at the bottom. So we get to play that for free. And that's going to get rid of a struggle token on him because it's blue. And we get to draw 2 off of that. These both cost 1. Resilience could be good to draw if we get hit. I don't, like, we could, no, I think we're just going to stop there. So we're going to get a stamina because we're ending with 2 cards. We did not trigger that because it's both reds. We have double defense, so we're going to go ahead and flip our attrition. It's a 0, just to laugh in our face. And then we're going to go ahead and discard those in order. Then we're going to go ahead and shuffle the attrition deck. And then we have to draw back up to 5. Oh, potential. Okay. And then he's going to turn to the aggro player. And he did get aggro. So He will turn this away, which is unfortunate because we can't hit the tail now. Man. All right. Let's see. Did we get any assist cards? We did get two assist cards. So we could throw 2 more assist cards to Kara, but I just don't think we're going to do that much damage. You may overrun the monster instead of moving. If you do, remove 1 struggle. That doesn't really do much for us. Oh boy. Yeah. I just don't have faith in Darian. I'm going to use both of his assist cards and just try to beef up my turn as much as possible. So I get to draw 2 cards with that. Interesting. We don't have any... We don't have any of the chain cards currently. And we don't want to overrun. The fire is really blocking me from, like, abusing my overrun, which is making me sad. So, I think what we're going to do first... Let's see, does anything cost 2 yet again? Nothing. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and discard Shadow Step because there's a chance we get it back. There's a chance. So we'll put that over there. And then we're going to play Perfection. And this card is yellow. It says we get to draw 1. If that card is red, you may play it as the next card in your sequence without paying the stamina cost. So here goes nothing. It is not red, unfortunately. And that card also chains off of red. I'm also going to get a threat token because I chose not to move. Increase your sequence limit by 1 this turn. I don't even know if we need that. I think I'm going to discard Swing. And I'm going to play Finesse. And because we have our Mastery, we get to draw 2 instead of 1. We're still good because we haven't played a red card. In your sequence. We do have 2 blues here. We're going to go ahead and play Crossover, which is free. We get to get rid of 1 of his struggle tokens. I think we're going to discard Offense Attitude. In order to play Dancing. Dancing is going to let us draw 1 for each attack in your sequence. We have 2 right now, 2 attack icons. Max of 3. Increase your sequence limit by 1 because we have our Mastery. So we do get to draw 2 more cards. And we have 2 attacks in a row, so we are going to do 3 damage. And we triggered Battle Dance, so we're going to be doing 4 damage. So 1 is going to push him over. And we're going to have 3 left over going into his final wound. Okay. So we need to do 5 more damage. Increase your sequence. So now we're going to go ahead and discard Oh, that's amazing. Holy shit. So actually, we're going to play Shadow Strike for free, which gets rid of another struggle token and is another attack card. And it says your cards gain stealth until the end of the turn. When you overrun the monster, you may discard this card from your hand to draw 2. So I could choose to do that, but I'm not. I'm doing the top part. So that's going to let me get rid of a struggle, and it's going to make my card stealth. So the way stealth works in this game is when I play a card that would trigger a behavior, if it has the stealth word on it, or something triggers it to make it stealth, it ignores proccing anything behavior-wise. So now I can play a red card freely and not trigger the boss, which is insane and perfect for this current scenario. Man, if I had... Yeah, now this was the correct way to do it. I just won't get the draw, which is fine. So we currently have 5 cards in our sequence, and because of having our mastery, we are going to be able to lay a 6th card, which is... it's game-changing. So we are going to go ahead and get rid of Natural Agility for 1 stamina, and then we're going to play Echoing Blades. And Echoing Blades is going to let us do 2 damage, but more importantly, it's stealth, so it's going to ignore all of the behaviors, and it is our 4th attack card in a row, so we are going to trigger Battle Dance, doing 5 damage, and we're going to do a bonus damage because of our weapon. So we are doing 6 damage, and he is at 5 already. So we did 11 damage, which is going to do his final bit of 8, and that is going to defeat the boss. Holy smokes. So giving those assists to this character was definitely the right move. And man, that was like a clutch ending too, because we are like on the brink of getting KO'd. The fire was a pain. In this instance, we were not able to break the tail because every time I wanted to hit that tail, it just kept moving into the fire. So like we were just not able to do that. So we're not even going to trigger the behaviors. He's dead. That's it. That is awesome, man. I really like that character. Darian, not so much. Not so much. Whew. That was a good game. That was good for the prologue. All right. I'm gonna switch over here. I gotta get like a fancy like backdrop or something right now. It's just black. But anyway, yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for anybody that watches this VOD whenever we post it up again and gets the chance to watch me go through the prologue, play it solo, and see what solo looks like. It's a little daunting at times. There's a lot to track on both characters, but this game is incredible. I love this game. I love the combat. I love the synergies. I love the combos. I've played 3 of the characters. Like I've at least dabbled in 3 characters so far. So I've done the Mace character, which seemed to be very heavy on stunning and confusing, and I think he could also apply vulnerable, and he just seems really, really, really good in a team. You know, having that constant CC to prevent behaviors from going off, or just like stopping him from being able to do chunks of damage to people like in inconvenient moments. It's very, very effective. So he's not the most like damage dealing character, but he's definitely very, very effective as a party member in that game, in this game. Darian, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just drawing poorly, but the 2 times I have now played this character, it feels really bad. And I don't know if that changes. I don't know if it's just luck of the draw, but every time I play him, I don't have the cards I need in order to trigger his mastery. I don't have the cards I need in order to trigger his weapon. It seems very hard to pull it off. And I don't know why. But it's twice now. It's twice now that I've played him, and it's been that exact same scenario both times. So I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of him so far. You know, there's a lot of weapons, there's a lot of armor that can alter the playstyle dramatically. So I'm sure it could get better. You know, maybe it's like World of Warcraft Warrior, where they start off really crappy and then they get OP broken towards the end. But yeah, Kara is freaking awesome. Having chain ability cards that allow you to just play cards for free just based on the color card you played previously. Having the overrun where you're able to leap across the map instead of just doing a movement to the left or to the right. Having the ability to reclaim, like I think I've only seen one, maybe there's 2 cards in there, but having that ability to reclaim that card and then use it again, and it gives you 2 stamina each time. Like, that's crazy. And all of the combo potential, the battle dance damage, the battle dance proc off of the weapon, like everything just feels like it synergizes so freaking well together. It's so much fun to play. Like, I just wanted to assist that character all the time, let them draw and go nuts, because the potential to just do insane plays was there like almost every round. So I love Kara, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Love that character. That's definitely probably going to be my main. And then I've also seen Amber. She's played the Archer character in this game, and that character also looks incredibly fun. You have tons of draw. You have a lot of volleys. So when they volley, they draw the top cards of their deck, and they get a chance to do additional damage based on if it's an attack card or not. And because you're cycling through your deck so much, that mastery is just get through your deck one time, and then you proc volley every single time, every turn after you get your mastery, which makes your deck go through faster. And then the second part of the mastery is you do 5 damage every time you cycle through your deck. So the negative is you take damage every time you go through your deck, but you're also just pumping out so much damage that, like, it's almost like a race. Like, you're racing the boss to see who's gonna die first because you're just doing so much. So I could see the Archer and Kara together being really, really strong. And then if I ever played with 3 people, I would say like the Mace guy would be an awesome 3rd, awesome 4th. But yeah, I haven't played the Shield character yet, and I haven't played the Gunner character as well, so I don't know how those play. But yeah, this game is fantastic. It is pricey, which is unfortunate. I wish they had like an acrylics version of the game for people that just didn't want to spend that much. But just doing the prologue, I've done the prologue multiple times, and I have fun doing it every time. And the more I understand about the game, and the more it clicks, and the more like combo potentials I'm seeing, the more I want to play it again. So I'm excited. I have like, I don't even know, there's like 10 more bosses, 10 plus more bosses I haven't even done yet. I've just done this guy, and they have different difficulties, and there's going to be crafting. I haven't even gotten to the crafting. I've just done the prologue and just did the same basic setup every time. So fantastic game. Definitely going to be doing more streams of this on the channel and uploading those VODs for people that want to watch. And hopefully I can get some co-op streams as well, because I really do want to play more with Amber. I think she enjoyed it. She only got a chance to play it one time, and there was a lot of learning, a lot of rule checking. So she didn't get to enjoy it the same way that I have so far, with like having a better grasp of what's going on. And managing one character, I think, is my preferred way of playing this as well. It is soloable, but I don't like keeping track of 2 different characters, because it's easy to say, hey, I'm going to assist this player, but like then I'm gimping that guy, and I have no idea. It's hard for me to really play the decks effectively, at least for now, because I don't know both of them very well. But yeah, that's going to be it for this stream for today, guys. I will probably be back streaming maybe this weekend. We'll do something. I'm not 100% sure, but if not, for sure we'll be doing something during the week next week. And look forward to seeing more Primal: The Awakening. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.